What's up, everybody? We have another episode of the Pot of Aggieland. Starring your host, yours truly, Chase Lane, number 2 in the field, number 1 in y'all's hearts. A crazy weekend in college football. I'll be getting into all of those things and what the weekend looked for me. But as always, we're going to start off with the quote of the day. So the quote of the day for today's episode is, "The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain." So short and to the point, I'll say it again. The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. And for me, I think it is really coming into a lot of different places and a lot of different aspects of my life right now. So as people know that tune into the podcast weekly, which I greatly appreciate, by the way, I do have aspirations of one day being on ESPN, being a commentator, being a sports analyst on a major sports network like that. So, you know, I just wanted to dibble and dabble on some things, and I applied for some internships for the spring or for the summer at ESPN. And over the past 2 days, I applied to 4 ESPN internships, right? And it was like digital media intern, social media intern, production intern, things like that. Just get my foot in the door. And out of the 4 that I applied for, I just got 3 rejections. So although I've seen success with this podcast thus far, and I've been getting a lot of praise from a lot of different people, in passing, like, "Oh, I love your podcast. I love what you're doing. Oh, like you sound like you're comfortable on the mic." It was a humbling feeling getting those emails back, because I've never really had to deal with like a lot of rejection in my life, and I've been blessed to say that, because just being at the level I'm at now, playing at a school like A&M, and just really being able to just accomplish a lot of the goals that I've set for myself since I've been in college and just in life, period. I'm not really used to rejection like that, so it was a weird feeling. Like, I wasn't like sad, but it was kind of like, damn, like this is like the real world, I guess. So so I applied to 4 internships at ESPN, and I actually got my 3rd email before I filmed this episode saying I got rejected for one of the positions I applied for. So, and then when you contribute that quote to, just how it's going on with our season thus far, we're 3-6, just lost to a 4-4 Florida team in our house. And, just it was a bad feeling out there, and I wasn't able to play. I was out this week with a lower back injury. Yeah, man, it's a really humbling feeling, and it helps you just come back into realization of, not everything is going to be, just clear cut, blue skies, have it your way kind of things. But in order to get to those kind of days, you got to be able to put up with the rain. And I think that's a life lesson that you can take on no matter how old you are, no matter where you are in your life, no matter if it's, like I said with my quotes, I like to kind of have it channel in different ways, through careers and relationships and athletics, academics, anything. And I think being able to weather the storm and being able to, just stay down during those tough times to make it to those brighter days is very vital to one's growth and maturity and success. So I'll say it again. The quote is, "The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain." So that's the quote. And as always, hopefully it can resonate with you guys. So moving forward, all right, so let's get into this crazy weekend we just had in college football. If you were able to tune in to the last episode last Thursday, I kind of went down the top 10 and my analysis on each team. And when I talked about the Alabama and LSU matchup, I hinted at the fact that this game was going to be extremely telling for both programs. And I said that if Alabama was going to win, it had to be a dominant win in order for them to get back into playoff contention. And I said LSU just had to win, period. Just to get the respect that I now so believe that they deserve. They definitely deserve that top 10 ranking. And that game solidified it for me, man. So Since our game was at 11 a.m., the beauty of that is that you get to go home, and we get home around like 3:34, and you have the rest of the day to just watch like the other college football games that are going on. So, man, that game, like, LSU's defense made Bryce Young not look like Bryce Young for stretches in that game. And Harold Perkins, the guy that I thought we had in the bag coming here, played tremendously for LSU. We had 3 sacks, some tackle for losses, and, he was just making plays. And as a true freshman in a game like that, that's so big for them. So kudos to Coach Kelly down there at LSU. Had them boys ready, had the gumption to say, look, we in OT, we tied the game. Like, we're not gonna go for the tie, we're going for the win. Like, it's like win or nothing. And they dialed it up, and they got the game winner, and that was a crazy, man. And that's the beauty of college football that you like seeing, man. Like, top 10 matchups like that. It's always a rivalry game when those two teams play. And first year head coach trying to establish culture, trying to get the fan base around them, because they've been on the struggling end these last 2 years. And that was just a really good win for college football, period, but an extremely good win for LSU. So kudos to them, man. Those guys down there in the Bayou making plays, and just really hitting their stride. But other games that were on, SMU and Houston played a basketball game damn near. The score was 77-63. Quarterback Tanner Mordecai had 10 total touchdowns, 9 throwing and 1 rushing. That's crazy numbers. But yeah, man, those are actually those are fun games to watch too. Just shootouts, and it's kind of funny. I thought that our game was going to be a shootout, and I'll be getting into that. But the teams I feel like that had their games they won, they were supposed to win. I don't remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I don't remember there being any upsets that just jumped off the board. But I know people are really eager to hear me get into this Florida breakdown. So let's get right into it, man. What does the word home mean to me? I can't necessarily put one word on the concept of home, because home is authenticity, home is love, and home is security. And just being a college kid really makes you appreciate the times that you're able to go home and see your family, and just get a home cooked meal and be around your family members, be in your old bed, sit on that spot you had on your couch in the living room that you always slept in when you took your naps, and just doing the things that you do with your parents and your siblings when you're at home, and just being back in the neighborhood and just having that sense of security and that sense of love and that sense of authenticity. So in saying that, this podcast is proudly supported by our friends at the Hudson Team. The Hudson Team is helping Aggies sell and buy homes that offer all the things I just talked about. They can help with any and all real estate needs. And when you're working for the Hudson Team, you're working with a powerhouse. The Hudson Team is the #1 Zillow ranked team in the Bryan-College Station area based on sales volume and the number of transactions done each year. All members of the team are former A&M students, including our friend Alexis Knox. She is a broker associate and a realtor on the team with over 5 years of experience. Alexis loves helping everyone, but she especially takes pride in helping her fellow Aggies in the Bryan-College Station area, as well as Austin. To learn more and to contact Alexis, you can call her at 281-745-0010. That's 281-745-0010. You can also find her on social media at Alexis Knox Realtor or at her website, alexisknoxre.com. Huge thanks to Alexis and the Hudson Team, so shout out to them. As I hinted at earlier, I wasn't able to play this past weekend. I got banged up in the Ole Miss game last week, and I had a really, really, really bad lower back injury, and I actually had to leave to go to the hospital in the middle of the fourth quarter at the Ole Miss game that I don't think anybody knows about. But it was a bad injury, and so since I got hurt, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be playing, and my trainers knew I wasn't going to be playing. So the main thing for me during the Florida week was just to rehab, and treatment. So the whole week, man, I had to wake up at 6, and I know some people are gonna hear this and be like, "Man, you waking up late," but I had to wake up at 6, man. I had treatment from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Treatment and rehab from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Come back home, do some homework, and then I'd have to be back up at the training facility from like 1 until meetings, and that's when I had my pool workout. So, yeah, it was not being hurt is actually a grind too, and having to rehab and having to get treatment it can be such a draining process sometimes. But being an older guy, I can really see how beneficial it is, just to stay in the training room when you're not hurt, and just doing prehab things so you don't have to do rehab. And yeah, man, it was a grind, and my grind isn't over yet. I gotta get 7 a.m. treatment this week until I'm 100%. When you're hurt, it's so weird because, well, some guys, like, when they're hurt, they don't travel, but like they traveled me. So it's kind of weird because yes, you're part of the team, and yes, you understand the importance of just preparing to play a game, but like when you're not playing, you really don't necessarily have to deal with like the anxiety of preparing for a game and like the stress of preparing for a game and like going through your pregame notes and like making sure you know all the right routes that are going to be like that were ran this week, and just really prepping. So I was in meetings and everything, and of course I'm always locked in, but it wasn't like a dire need of focus because like obviously I'm not going out there to play. So yeah, I was really just helping getting the younger guys ready, like I have throughout most of the year, and just making sure everything was running smoothly. So yeah, it is a weird feeling though, because like you wake up on game day, you put on your suit, you go do the spirit walk, and you kind of start to get the adrenaline like you're about to go play, but then you get to the locker room and your pads aren't in your locker and you just got a jersey and you're kind of like, damn, like I'm not playing. So yeah, but then getting to the game it's such a weird feeling because you're just kind of like, dang, like I want to play, like I really want to play. And I especially really wanted to play in this game because Florida, when we played Florida 2 years ago, that was my first collegiate touchdown ever in Kyle Field on my mom's birthday. So it like I have a really good, really, really, really good connection with playing against Florida. So I really wanted to be available this week. So, just when the guys were going through warm-ups and, the fans were coming in, and, like, we're playing the music, we're playing the new Drake album. That's crazy, by the way. You see in Florida warm up and you're kind of just like, damn, like I want to be out there with the guys, man. And, just going back into the locker room and you see guys getting their game faces on and, like Jimbo comes in and does his speech, guys are like getting hype and getting lit, and you kind of just feel like you're missing out. But it's really cool for me because I'm in a place to where I've been in the program for some time now. So like, obviously I know the playbook damn near like it's the back of my hand. So actually, I don't know if you guys saw, if you were at the game, but when we were on offense, I was actually like signaling with the signal callers. So like when Jimbo would call play in the headset, I would get the play from my receiver coach and his GA, and then I would actually be out there like directing traffic. Like no, like you're on this side, you on this side. Like you're on the ball, you're off the ball. Like aligning splits, telling guys to get their depth on routes and everything, just because I just know it so fluently and fluidly. So yeah, I actually felt like a coach. I should have asked for a headset. I thought that would have been pretty live, but yeah, I felt like a coach. But it's really cool, kind of to just, I don't want to say like have a game off or have like some time off, but in a way, I feel like any athlete could co-sign when I say this. It's just like it's like a refreshing feeling. It's almost like similar to like when you have a bye week and you're coming off a bye week and like you feel refreshed, you feel motivated again, like you feel replenished. But for me, it was kind of just like, oof, like I can get healthy because like this last couple like days have been just hell for me. I've been on painkillers, had taken all these pills, getting IVs, everything, man. It was such a crazy experience for me this past week, and just getting to just enjoy the game without having to go out there and get hit, worry about getting hurt. Like it was just a really just like a calming feeling. So yeah, so moving forward, let's get into the game. First quarter, they opened with a field goal. We answered with a Devon the Chain touchdown run. And the first play from scrimmage that we had was a humongous stretch run to the right towards their sideline that ended up bouncing back all the way to our sideline. And Vaughn took it damn near to like the 20, 25 yard line. And, like I said, it just felt like things were just going really well for us. And I really thought it was going to be a shootout, like for real, because they would get the ball, they would come out and score. We would get the ball and we would respond. We would get a stop and then we would score. Like it, and I just like, okay, like we're playing good. And I thought Haynes played really well. Yeah, Haynes, like I said, like when we played Bama, Haynes is a warrior. And if Haynes is needed by his team, he is going to step up 15 times out of 10. He's going to step up for his team and he's going to be ready and he's going to be available. So that's one thing you can never question about Haynes is his heart and his competitiveness. And like I said, I feel like he played a really good game. I think he managed the game well. I feel like he seemed poised out there. And I think from all the games he's played in this season, I felt like that game he just looked the most poised and he looked the most confident back there. And I think you could really see flashes of that in the first half. But yeah, moving forward, it was really nice for us to have a start like that on offense because this whole year we've kind of just been struggling with, getting out the gate fast and starting fast, putting points on the board, putting them behind the 8 ball instead of ourselves for a change. But yeah, and like it felt really fluid and like I had a good vibe. Like it was an 11 a.m. game. Like it was packed. It was packed. It was loud, but it wasn't like anything crazy. Like we were at home and it just felt like a good vibe out there. And it was like the sun was out. And I thought from like the first half, it just felt like everything was going to run smoothly. But, they came back and their quarterback had a humongous 60-yard touchdown run, puts them up 17-14. In the last episode, I really stressed the importance and the emphasis of, just trying to stop the run because, like I said, they have a quarterback who can get outside of the pocket and he can make plays with his legs. But what really surprised me was he made some key throws for them, like when he needed to. He made some key, like important third down throws. And I'm not talking about just like some 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s. Like I'm talking about like 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 11s. Like he was able to convert on 3rd down with his arm. And we wanted to challenge him to do that. I know that for sure. I know that was the emphasis on defense was to have him beat us with his arm instead of his legs. But he was able to, get in the end zone twice with his legs, and he was able to make some key nice throws. And another thing, when you're not playing in the game, you can really get to watch the defense and you can really get to watch what the other team is doing because when you're in a game, like for us, when we come off the sideline, we don't watch the game. We may look up at the screen if we hear like the crowd make a noise or something, but more often than not, we're going to be on the bench, like drawing up things on the clipboard with our coaches. And, Jimbo's going to be coming back and forth talking to us. So we don't really get to watch the game unless like we're on offense. So I was able to watch both sides of the ball and, yeah, they look really poised out there. And, playing in Kyle Field is always a hostile environment, no matter what the record is from our end. But, yeah, their quarterback really impressed me. And kudos to Anthony Richardson, coming into the crib and getting a dub. So, as always, I'm going to respect my opponent and I'm going to give flowers where flowers are due. But moving forward, right before the half, and we always stress this, and it, like I said, everything was going smoothly. Like what we wanted to do in the first half, we did. And Coach Fisher always likes to kick off first, get that last possession in at the end of the half, put points on the board, and then come out in the second half with the ball, and then potentially put more points on the board because you can have 10 to 14 points before they even touch the ball again. So we were able to score at the end of the half. Devon had another touchdown run, and kudos Devon. My dog had 3 tutties on Saturday. Box office, as I say. But yeah, we were up 24-20 at halftime. So like the locker room, like I don't want to say that we were acting like the game was won because we're not really in the position to where we need to be thinking like that at halftime, hence our record. But guys were confident, man. Like the vibe was cool. Like guys were talking, like, and it was more so like when I say talking, I don't mean like, just talking about like a random just like BS, but like talking like, what do you see out there? Like, oh, I see this. Like, we can do this. Like, I could really start to see like the growth in the maturity of the locker room. Guys were locked in at the task at hand. And yeah, I just thought everything was gonna go so smooth, bro. And like that's the hard part about just how we came out in the second half. And Coach Fisher's message at halftime was, like I said, he always says it: defense, they don't score, we win. And guys got lit when he said that, like, because 24-20, if they don't score, we win. So it's like like people were like really excited to just go out there and just finish the game. And like Coach Fisher just kept on saying like, finish, like just finish the game, like put them away and let's just do it. But yeah, man, we weren't able to do it. And it's just so frustrating just talking about it, because it's like, it's hard to even talk about, bro. But moving up to the third quarter, they answered with a nice touchdown grab. Go ball. Anthony Richardson put it in the breadbasket, and their receiver went up and made a play. And, he did his job right out the gate. And our offense, we start to struggle. They score again. So now going into the fourth quarter, it is 34-24. We were unable to score in the third quarter. Like field goal, we weren't able to get in the field goal range. Turnovers, punts, nothing, man. We just stalled out in the third quarter. And at this point, like, since I wasn't playing, I can speak from like a observant point of view. I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating, because just the way we came out in the first half was everything we wanted it to be. So like we got points at the end of the half. Like we were able to come out and start early, minor to few to, if any, self-inflicted wounds. And it just, I don't know, man, we stalled out in the third quarter, and it's just extremely frustrating just even talking about it. But going into the fourth quarter, offense, we fumble, and then we punt. So we're 0 for 3 on those first three possessions. And we finish off the game. They scored another rushing touchdown, and they end up winning 41-24. So I don't know. All I can really say is that Florida made great second half adjustments. I think they, here's what I think. Here's what I saw. So if you go back and watch that game, we were able to connect on throws vertically in the passing game in the seams. So that's why you saw Moose catch a lot of balls on a lot of the scoring drives, and that's why you saw Max Wright get some action, because Max Wright finished with like 5 or 6 catches. So the seams were wide open, and if the seams are open, we had some dig windows, and since they're dropping into zones, we had some underneath like little 5-yard in routes to Evan. That Evan caught a few in the first half, and that's what we were expecting them to do, because cover 3 is their main coverage, which we went over. But what they did at the second half to minimize that, they played mainly man the rest of the game when we came out in the second half. Like they just manned us up across the board, and they were sending will fire blitzes off the backside. So they're manning us up, and then they're putting like crazy pressure on Haynes just to try to just make him get the ball out quick, make him have to make quick decisions, like go through his reads quicker. Because you see, that's when Haynes really started getting pressure. That was in the second half. So they made some good adjustments on defense in the second half. Offense, I think they stay true to their game plan. I think they're going to try to run first and throw when they need to. And I think that's exactly what they did, and they were able to execute it. And they were able to execute their game plan on all sides, all 3 phases of the game. So, you can't really Like, I can't sit here and say like, oh, like we should have this, we should have that. Like they just, they made the adjustment they needed to make, and they would have come out successful. But I will say one thing: just being in that atmosphere and not playing, like I said, sometimes in this episode, and just seeing the fans leave early, man, that hurts, bro. And it just makes you feel like, dang, like we couldn't even get the job done for them. Like they came out and damn near sold out the stadium despite the season we've been having. So it just goes to show like the unwavering support we get through like our loyal fans and just our fan base in general, just the support we get from them. So I just want to say I appreciate the entire 12th man, because man, like if we were Texas, man, if Texas had a 3-5, 3-6 record, man, there'd be some empty bleachers in that stadium. And you can look up pictures and you know what I'm talking about. But I just want to say kudos to our fans, man, for, just showing us so much love and support. And I'm just so, just genuinely just sorry that we weren't able to get the job done, because I know it's been a hard season from y'all's perspective, just having the preseason ranking we had and, bringing in the class we had, and, things just haven't been going our way at all this year. And, some guys were sick this week and, we're unavailable for this game. But, yeah, it was, man, that one really stings, because, you never want to see your home fans leave early. And then you get to the point to where the visiting team has taken over the atmosphere and has taken over the stadium. That's never a good feeling. We had it with App State, and we had it with this game. So, and they traveled really well. I didn't know Florida fans traveled that well, but they were like sprinkled out like pretty like well throughout the stadium. So, yeah, man, you never want to hear the away fans be louder than your home fans in your home stadium. It's never a good feeling at all. But yeah, so we have 3 games left, man, and we're sitting at 3-6. We got Auburn this week, we got UMass, and then we got LSU. So, in order for us to be bowl eligible, if you're familiar with college football, you have to have 6 wins. So we have to win out, and I think we are highly capable of doing that, because like, look, I don't care what a prediction says. I don't care what the numbers say, man. Like, football is football, and whoever's going to win that game is going to win that game. So we still have a lot to play for. And even though our goals have changed, we can still make a ball game, and we can still go out there and win a ball game and, just compete our asses off. So that's one thing that I think you'll never have to question from this team is our heart and our competitiveness, because the guys in that locker room are hurting. Everyone's hurting right now, man. And, no one would have thought that we would be in the situation that we're in. And, yeah, there's a lot of frustration in the facility right now. And the frustration is just like, we just want to be good. We want to be great, man. Like we want to be contending for SEC championships, man. Like, everybody wants that, and I think we're just so close, and it's just so frustrating that I had to keep saying that we're so close, because it just gets repetitive. And yeah, man, but I don't doubt anyone's heart in that locker room, anybody's competitiveness in that locker room. As I said a couple weeks ago, this is a gut check time. This is a time to just look that guy in the mirror and just ask him, like, are you really giving everything you can to this program in order for us to be successful? Because as Coach Fisher says, there's no I in team, but there is an I in win. And that I stands for your individual responsibility that will contribute to your team's success. So that's one of the things that stuck out with me that Coach Fisher constantly harps on, but it couldn't be any more true. So, yeah, I hate that I started to sound all negative there, but, I was just getting real for a minute. But, yeah, this has been another quick episode of the Pod of Aggieland. When we come back on Thursday, I'll be getting into Auburn pregame and preparations for that, and I might have a little speaker for y'all too. So stay tuned, and I will see y'all later this week. Peace.